What is good, Supercoach enjoyers? Welcome to my round 16 review, and I have it right in front of me right now. We'll get straight into it. He had a total of 1,964 this round, which was in the top 6%, surprisingly. I thought that when I saw the scores, there's a couple other bigger scores in my league, and I thought that this would be not as good as it was, but there is probably a few coaches who went ham for the last round of the buys, and that's why we went up 2,000 places, up to 11,000. So we're this close to the 10,000 mark. My goal at the start of the year was the top 5,000 mark, but top 10,000 after the start of the season we had would be a great outcome. So go straight to the team. There was a few stars and there was a few absolute duds as well. And so we'll go through them. Jordan Clark. Let's start with him, hey? He was the best on ground for the game. Was watching St. Kilda vs Freo. Um, he basically willed Freo to a win. He was the only one that stood up for the first three quarters. The rest of them finally goik up in the last quarter, but he kept him in them, to be honest. He was the one that won them the game. Wangley Malira was taking all kick-ins. He's just gobbling it up back there, which means Sinclair is scoring less because Wangley Malira is the main guy back there. But 89, considering Wangley Malira has taken all kick-ins, is pretty good for Sinclair. Rosie 150, massive. Went back to that half back row. I've got the CBAs here. As you can see in front of me, we have Connor Rosie against Carlton had 0 centre bounce attendances, which is great for Supercoach because he just mops it up at the back there. He's great kick and he gets more of it when he's at half back. There's just enough mids at port to fill the void in the midfield. So him in the half back role is brilliant for everyone's Supercoach. As you can see, his score last week wasn't great because his went back up to 89% CBAs, which is most of anyone against Sydney, which is why he scored a little bit differently, and that's why we thought that his role might have changed, but straight back to it. Tom Green did not play. Sheasel, pretty awful. He had a really bad game. He got hit in the shoulder real late, and I think he got scans, but I don't think it's anything too serious. Kangaroos aren't worried, so I'm not going to be worried just yet. But a 60 is not great, and a Roberts 62. I'm really this close to moving on Roberts for a better premium in the defense because he's starting to really annoy me with his scoring. He'll pop out 360s in a row and then he'll get a 100 and that will he'll keep him around for a while, but not good enough. Sarong 84. None of the Freo mids scored very well except for Clark if you count him as a mid, but he's coming off the half back line as well. Sarong just didn't fire up to the last quarter like all of them, which is a bit of a shame. Butters 123. Actually scored okay for the type of game that he played, I think. For some reason, I didn't see a whole lot of him against Carlton, but 123 is fine for Zach Butters. I'm happy with that for the rest of the year. 131 for Nick Dacos. I had the captain on him. I thought that playing against West Coast with no designated tagger would be a good thing, and it was okay. Well, he didn't set the world on fire, but he was fine. And 131 was one of the highest scores for the whole week anyway, so in my team, that is, so I'll take that. Bont. Weird game for the Bont because I don't think he was tagged. He didn't get taken out of the game at all. They were killing Sydney at one stage, and he could have rode the wave of kicking lots of goals towards the end of the game, junking up. But I think they rested him from what I could see towards the end of the game. 63 after a 177 is just the most Bont thing in the world. He cruises, and then he stands up in just random games, which is crazy. But 63 is bad for my team, but it's great for a whole lot of other coaches who are looking to swoop in and get him at a real cheap price. I think his break even is at about 90 or so now, so he's about right for the picking at this price. He's not going to get any lower, I don't think, especially against North Melbourne this Thursday. So if you're going to get the Bont, now's the week because I think he's going to ton up and more this week. And to Tuke Miller, who has had 2 great weeks in a row, both weeks. The tag has not been on him, which has allowed him to be a bit more free. Didn't score as much as Rao did, but the tag was on Noah Anderson, so that let Miller go solid. But he was on the bench for the last like 5 or so minutes, which really slowed his scoring compared to your Raos and such. I thought he was going to get to 140, but sat on the bench for the last quarter for a lot of it, and 122. I am happy with anyway. Big surprise. Clay Hole, who got the Rising Star nomination this week. Crazy. 22 touches, I think he had. 78 coming into the side. We were wondering why he wasn't getting a game, and he finally did, and he had a decent performance, and I think he'll be keeping his spot from all things considered. Rising Star nomination. When's the last time someone's been dropped after a Rising Star nomination? I don't know. So I think he stays. But overshadowed really is Tom McCarthy. I think is his name Tom? Yeah, Tom McCarthy. 101 after his 133. Everyone went early on him, I think, and if you didn't, you got to get him in your team. There's no point. You have to. He's got defense status and midfield status. His basement price and his break even's minus 174 or something like that. Something absolutely insane. So he could score minus points and he'd still make a whole lot of cash. So if you don't have him, and you don't plan to get him in, just quit Supercoach because this is not the game for you. Everyone should have him if you're still continuing to be a serious player at the back end of the year. And then we got people who didn't play. Dunkley and Merritt didn't play. That's okay because we come back in this week, probably for Hole. And I don't know if we can try and stick McCarthy in the defense down here because I'll try and work something out. But I don't really want to keep him on the bench with the way he's playing and the way he's racking them up. So we'll try and figure out something. But we go to Jerry. 111 is fine. Not Jerry standard, really, but it's still okay for all the ruck scores. I think the best ruck of the recent weeks is actually Grundy. He's had a great couple of weeks compared to your Gorns and your Jerrys and even your De Konings, who was an 85, who scored around the same as Gorn. I held off on Gorn so I could potentially upgrade De Koning to Gorn after these hard patch of games that he has. Gorn played Wits, and now he goes up against Riley O'Brien at Adelaide Oval. I think that the run of games coming for Gorn was not great, and I thought that jumping on De Koning might be a little bit better. It looks like it's about same, so I've saved myself about, I don't know, 100,000 to play with for different trades, which is it's worked out for my favour, to be honest. And then we go to the forward line. Bailey Smith, not Brody Smith. Bailey Smith did not play. Petrarca 104 had the most touches on the ground, but wasn't super effective with him. I've noticed that with Petrarca, his kicking is not very good, and he doesn't dispose of it overly well. Sometimes he'll have a great kick, and other times he just blasts it. I made a short, and my last video is basically harping on how much people should get Sam Darcy in for the rest of the year. He had a massive first half, and I was sitting there like, you should have listened to me. But the second half, he just went missing. I don't know what happened. I don't know if they were doubling him in the forward line, but he just quieted down real quick. And I think from half time, I'm not sure what he scored, but hardly anything. I thought he would score even more when I saw the news that McCartan was out. I think Melican played on him, which is he should kill Melican, but he did a decent job. And I'm not mad because I know I bought him for the rest of the year, not for this week. So for the rest of the year, I'm happy we have him. I think he's going to come good, and I still would jump on him if I was anyone else looking for a last premium in the forward line. Daniel 96, he's been very great recent weeks, and if you traded him about a month ago, you would be kicking yourself. He's just had a few weeks where he was scoring a little bit low down here, like he got the 51, and lots of people rage traded him. And then from there, he hasn't really had a super bad game. This 80 is not great, but he with the Shiesel going to the middle, he's getting a lot more of the ball in the back line. So I'm happy to hold him for the rest of the year at the rate that he's playing. And then Rankin actually had a decent game for once, 99. He didn't absolutely shank the ball at goal every single time he got it, but recent weeks he's been pretty crap as well. 87, 62, 89, 81. Not a great pick from my accord. So I would not recommend jumping on Rankin, and at least I didn't jump on Bolton, which I know a lot of other people did at the price that he was after he had his ceiling game, his 150 plus, I think it was. People jumped on him for an easy cash grab, and I don't think that worked out because he's been absolute crap. And lots of people still have him stuck in their team and are going to have to use a trade to move him out. So, and then May was filling a spot here, but he didn't play. So, and Ashcroft didn't play, but they will this week. Thank God the buys are over. We can rearrange our team immediately. So Clay Hall, thank you for that one game, mate. Stepping in. And then Merritt comes on. And then I'm going to have to figure out a way to get McCarthy down into. He's a defender, isn't he? So Um, I don't think I can get him to play. I have one spot in the forward line. I wish he was forward status because I could try and do a trade for Gray to move him there so he can fill this void while we figure out who we want for our last player in the forward line. But I don't think it's going to happen. We do need one more in the forward line, but I really want to swap May for anyone because I don't want to take May's score every single week now that it's the best 23, I mean 22 with the flex included in that. So I need to figure out a way to get May out, or what can we do? Like, we don't have any money left because we moved to Sam Darcy. And if I trade Gray, there's no one that's forward status, is there? Yeah, there's no one forward status I can just slot in and swap for. So I'm not, I'm not, this is gonna have to be a thing that I can work on for the rest of the week. Do some stuff in my head. I don't know what that means. This dude had actually had a really decent game. This Toru dude. I'm not sure that I'd bring him in. He does have defense forward status, so that can fill here and here, but he is already 163,000, looking to go up in price. But there's no other options that are like a downgrade. And the averages, who is a cheap average that I would like to have? There's not a whole lot of people, is there? Not at all. McRae would be nice to have at the back end of the year. And that's about it, to be honest. There's no one else here that I really look at that we don't have already that I'm like, yeah, I need that dude in my team. I'm lucky I didn't go with Chad Warner. He had a 96, so it's a 99 and a 96. So it's a better score than Sam Darcy this week. But I think that towards the end of the year, it's going to get a little bit more hairy for Chad. So if we could work out a 3 trade to get Chad in here, and then we're finished with our team, we'll have 4 trades left. Maybe that's something we could do, but for now, I'm gonna leave it how it is. I'll figure out something to do during the week because it's too much brain power for me to do right now. I just want to get this video out and go into my exact thoughts of what happened to my team this round. Let me know how your team went. Thank God that the buy rounds are over. I think all of us are very happy that that's over, and hopefully that everyone's team is almost complete, or that you've got a couple to fill, but you still have that 10 trades left so you can get there. Realistically, if you have got a full team, you're looking about keeping about 4 to 6 trades left in your bank just in case things go wrong towards the end of the year, like your big premium in the midfielder gets injured, or you just got an underperforming person that you need gone for a finals matchup. That's why having those extra trades is very helpful. I think maybe not 4 to 6 range, but 3 to 5 range, I think is a good range for a complete team. If you've got a little bit more and you've completed your team, well done to you. But that probably means that you've got a couple fake premiums, and I think that you could use those to when some of these little rookies make some money, like your McCarthy's and your Holes, those sorts of dudes. Potentially, you can now upgrade those fake premiums to someone that's in some really good form, something like that. But that's just my advice. That's what I think most Supercoach players are going to be doing. They probably already know. If you're watching these videos, you probably already know, but you're looking just for some more insight to my team particularly. So that's that. So thank you everyone for tuning in. As always, if you do tune into these videos, and I'll be seeing you on Friday for my final trades for this week and probably potentially my finished team. Thank you everyone.